One problem with having a lot of files referenced into other files is that if the file name changes or the file path changes, AutoCAD can't find them anymore. If we open up the ICE reference drawing and we go to our external references manager, you'll see here that we have two different files, the Hockey Rink bitmap file and the Ice Rink example AutoCAD file. And we see that saved path file location being as a dot slash and then the file name. That means this file has been set up in what's called a relative path. When you set up a CAD file with an XREF as a relative path, then it is just looking for that file in the same folder of the source drawing that you're in right now. It will also look up and down a little bit for different parent folders and child folders that you might have. But if it's too far away, then it can't find it and it won't display it. Now, this right here tells me exactly where the file is at. If I need to change the location of that reference file, I can just select it right here, click on the ellipsis, and browse to wherever the file is, and it'll be able to repath it. Now, let's say that you need to make that change, and having to repath one file really isn't that big of a deal. And that's okay, because when you go to create an XREF and you select your file, click open, you have the option right here, path type, relative path. I typically recommend using relative path because when you send files to somebody else, if it's set to full path, then that full path will look for a static setting. It will look for a certain drive letter on your computer, a very specific folder, subfolder, and then the exact file name. Or if you set it to relative path, it'll only look for that file name. And if they put all the files in the same folders, it's going to find it. The XREFs work. It's not a problem. And it's the same way for you that if you need to copy files or move files often to different folders for any reason, relative paths will keep things working properly. So you want to try to use the relative path when possible. But let's say you made a major move, or you set up all of your files to the static full path, and that's fine. Both will work, both get the job done, it's okay. But if you need to repath a whole bunch of different files, that's going to take a lot of time and effort that you probably don't want to spend. Well, AutoCAD comes with a tool that's outside of AutoCAD called the Reference Manager. Now, that's not your external reference manager here, not this palette, but it's actually called the Reference Manager. So you have to go outside of AutoCAD to find it. I'm using Windows 8 here, and I'm just going to use my search. And if I type in Reference Manager, it'll pop up. This is the Reference Manager. It is an outside of AutoCAD program. It's a third-party program provided by Autodesk that will help you to bulk re-XREF files. It's actually pretty simple to use, and it's very powerful. So what you need to do first is add a bunch of drawings. So I click on the Add Drawings button, browse to where they're at. In this case, I'm using the ICE reference, and I'm also going to load the reference. So I clicked on both of these, click one, held down the Control key, selected both of them, and click Open. Now, you're first asked if you want to include all nested XREFs. I only want to add the first level XREFs, or you can say, just give me everything. It's up to you. So the nested XREFs will be files that XREF another XREF that's been XREF'd into it, and so on. Now, what you're going to get is more than just the AutoCAD files. If you have any shape files that have been added to it, plot files, configuration files, images, and fonts. So this just tells you out of everything you've selected, these are the files that are being referenced in one way or another. This here tells you the type of file. This tells you if the files themselves can find them or not, the file name, the reference name, the saved path, and you can see these are all relative paths here, and then the actual path. So if you want to know where all these files are, you can just move this across and find out where it is. It also tells you the host drawing. That means it's the drawing that's hosting it or referencing these other things. So you get a lot of information very quickly. And once you do this, you can export this report and it'll give it to you in a file type you can read. And so you know, hey, these are all the files involved with this project. You can edit this list. You can even view it in different ways. And if you need some help, click on the help. Now what this will do, right now you see I have this file, the ICE reference file, and this is the references file. So if I click just one of them, it'll show me just the stuff involved for that sheet. If I expand out the list, I can look by fonts, images, or XREFs. And here's where we had a special linking down where I only picked the first level. This was a second level reference, and that's a font in that case. And here I have the same sort of thing. So now I have everything referenced, showing all of the stuff that I have here, and I can do quite a bit with this. So let's say I moved everything and I need to fix all the XREFs inside that file. Well, it's pretty easy to do if I want to just sort these by type, and I can find my CAD files pretty easily. So in order to repath your files, in case you've moved them all, you find the AutoCAD files, you select them all, and then you go to the found path. See this right here? That's where they're found. And what you want to do is click on the edit selected paths. Find that, and then you find the new path. What folder are they in? So you browse to that folder, select it, click OK, and it will change that path. I'm not going to do that now because then I'll break these drawings, but it will change those for you. It'll process it, you'll see it, and it will fix them, and you don't even have to open the file. So this is really great and very easy to use and very fast. Now you can also do a find and replace. If you can't find something specifically, you just click on that and you say, okay, what am I looking for and what am I going to replace it with? Instead of having to select every file, it'll just look for those paths, and wherever those paths are, it'll replace that path for you. So this is a great tool. It's not something you're going to be using all of the time, but when you need it, it will save you a lot of effort.